Hello everybody, this is me, the Hub Critic, back with another video, and this time it is episode 2 of Wreste-Talk. Yes, I'm bringing it back, guys, and we are here with major news stories. But before we get into those, let's go in ahead and review WWE NXT for the 27th of May 2015. This episode was a pretty good one. Yeah, it was something that maybe the promos outshadowed the actual in-ring product, but come on, I like the way that it works, and this was really interesting. So we started off the show with Kevin Owens, no wonder, with Sami Zayn's music come out and talk for a while. You saw that in the intro there, but here he pretty much comes out and talks about how people are cheering for him against John Cena, and then he sort of talks about how John Cena is insecure, and that's why he's doing his United States Open, which we all heard about, and it's all happening every week on Raw. But he's telling everybody that, well, basically, I'm not insecure, so I'm not going to do the Open, and I'm not going to put my NXT Championship on the line. He's very good with the crowd and getting them to hate him, so even if there's, say, some people who are like cheering him, he'll try to get them to hate him as much as possible. Obviously, that's his job as a heel. So, heel champion, he basically tells everyone. He's wearing this John Cena's shirt. He's coming out with Sami Zayn music, and of course, we are this very Sunday is Elimination Chamber, which is today. So, looking forward to that. But yeah, it was a masterful promo. Regal comes out and addresses two important points. Owens headbutted Regal and Unstoppable, but Regal put his hands on Owens first, and that's the only reason he's still employed. Regal realized he made a mistake and makes Owens look scary, and this really is interesting because he says he's made a mistake and Owens is just there like looking at him, and it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so he does have a point there. That was one of the weird things that happened on Unstoppable that I didn't really talk about that much. But yeah, I'm glad they addressed that and put it out there because it makes sense to talk about that. But anyway, our second point, Regal lists off people Owen has injured since arriving in NXT and mentions Hideo Itami. If you remember back in Unstoppable, Hideo Itami was left in the parking lot clutching his shoulder, and Owens walking by muttering, "That's a shame." Regal acts like it's a super obvious that Owens did it, because that's our reaction. Of course he did it. And then we hear Kevin Owens' own sort of talk, and he's like, well, I didn't do it at all. And he sort of gets out of that, and he makes himself, look almost right in the same sentence. So yeah, so there's a chance that Owens could be up on the main roster. That's also kind of confirmed, I think, because I've heard rumors of it. He signed a contract, so Owens is like on his way to the main roster. It's pretty crazy to think. And of course, we know Balor is the number one contender for the NXT Championship. So who's he going to be facing? I don't know. What's going to be happening with the NXT Championship? I really don't know. But we have to look forward to Elimination Chamber this Sunday. It'll probably tell us more about what's going on with Owens. He was on SmackDown, I think, and he did sort of address the same thing, general thing. On Monday on Raw we had John Cena defending his United States Championship in the Open against Zack Ryder. He had the help of some television show or something, and yeah, they came out, but they couldn't stop John Cena, and yeah, it was a little bit less competitive than it should have been, but I still think it was a pretty fun match. So I saw that on YouTube, and yeah, that was funny. That was the really only thing I saw from Raw, so if you can tell me all what happened on Raw, that'd be interesting. But back to NXT. Our first match was I think a Divas match, if I'm not mistaken, which is a tag team match that we saw between the likes of Bayley and Emma. Sorry, it's just Bayley and Emma. Bayley has to, in order to submit, and obviously Emma has aligned herself with Dana Brooke. So yeah, Bayley has to tap out, and she looked very helpless there in that moment. So I guess it's a big push for Emma for no reason, but yeah, I think she looks really good as a heel there, so that's a good point about it. Yeah, but Bayley just, yeah, she doesn't look great in this match, I have to say. Let's see, the next point was Charlotte came out, she tried to retaliate a little bit, but then of course Dana Brooke went out on her, and she was down, and yeah, so heels made us look strong. I guess this is after a face win at the pay-per-view, which makes sense, and I don't know, every week I think Emma looks a little bit stronger, a little bit more fighting in her, and yeah, yeah, so we have a backstage promo with I think this was from Unstoppable, but we just see a lot of these backstage promos. Here it is, Rhino and Baron Corbin. I didn't like this, I thought it was just weird. These guys backstage, and they're like looking at each other, and then weirdly enough they say, and then Rhino's like, weirdly enough, you know what, I think we should consider having another match, you know, and then it's just weird, you know, like, God, I'm just cringing at that moment, because it was so, but anyway, it's just that was weird, but our next match was Blake and Murphy versus Elias Sampson and Mike Morales. Of course, Blake and Murphy win. After the match, they get Alexa Bliss. She does the big dive on top of one of the people. It's like rubbing in the face, which is cool. I really love this, I guess, Alexa Bliss working with them. I think it's funny. She's quite heel. She can do heel pretty well. They can be just annoying just in their own right without doing anything. So yeah, they're a good team. They do. I love the promo they cut after this match. It was actually really good. Basically addressing with Alexa Bliss, just you know, they're winners, whatever, and the others are losers. Very simple, but yeah, you just feel like typical heels there, you know. Our next match was a Finn Balor in a squash match, which with the new apparently aggressive Ty Dillinger. Well, that obviously is not true, because Finn Balor just crushed Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger is, you know, he's in the same position he was before. We may think he's a little bit cooler, a little bit different, which is the only difference he's really made. He's still the same jobber, I say use the word there, but that's what he is at the moment, and I have a feeling he's going to be like this for a very long while. So yeah, Finn Balor just using Ty Dillinger as his little practice doll here. He basically dominates and, you know, showcases all of his signature moves, which is great. And I love to see that every single week. Every single time Finn Balor fights, he always like uses cool characters, and one of them was in this match was a lovely swing blade running along, and that was cool. So I like that. So even if he fails one move, he can just take out another move from his inventory and just use that instead, and it's really effective. So good to that. So our main event, which was pretty much confirmed earlier on in the night, where Solomon Crowe came out and said, well, if you're not going to fight anybody, then you're not really a real champion. I guess in the spur of the moment, Owens agrees and says, well, you know, look at his face, he's just going to completely dominate Solomon Crowe. We all know it. He's like, okay, I'll give you the match because you asked for it, right? But it was the way he asked for it, you know. So I guess he just thought he deserved it. I don't really think. I thought Solomon Crowe was gonna have another match with someone else, because you know the way. But I guess he has pulled out like two wins already, so it makes sense really in booking terms. Yeah, Solomon Crowe in the main event with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens goes directly outside of being in this match, and then we see him, I guess, walk around for a bit, and then comes back in, of course, and then pulls Solomon Crowe outside for a bit, and every time he's out there, he's like, oh, come back in the ring here and fight me. You don't deserve it unless you can get back in with me. So he does that a few times, and then, of course, it ends with the signature moves that he uses, and of course the pump up power slam as well, powerbomb. After the match, he went outside with with Crow. He was gonna go and attempt the big finish on the side of the ring, the pump power bomb, but that was sort of like the whole you cannot get out of this move, and the move that everyone is looking at like, oh my god, the most devastating move to any other wrestler that we've ever seen. But he doesn't actually do it, which I love, because who else but Samoa Joe came out, the music again since last week, Unstoppable, and walks back into the ring like he did last week. Everyone's tunnels out. He walks up and the exact same thing, except this time they just sort of acknowledge each other again. So it's just him showing up for no reason, which I was just kind of stupid. But yeah, we see Samoa Joe out again. It's just like he's at a fashion show, just walking around for no reason whatsoever, other than to look like a boss, which he does. I have to agree there. But that's all he does, and it's just that, you know, there's nothing else to it. It's just him out there, and that's all we see from him at that time. So yeah, it wasn't any improvement on Unstoppable, and yeah, I don't know. I think that it's the fact that Owens has to get through so many people. You know, he's involved with so many different storylines at the moment in NXT, and also, of course, the mainline storyline with John Cena, and of course he's in a bit of a position where I think he's transitioning to the main roster, as I mentioned earlier, but he has to get through a lot of other bits. So I hope he gets to do something with Samoa Joe before he leaves, and I think that's what he's probably planning to do. He's probably gonna dominate a few others and get at them out of the way. Of course, Sami Zayn is back on the main roster, so it's gonna be really interesting to see all those guys could turn up on the main roster. Two of the main guys, and of course Neville's already up there, so it would make sense. What else? Right. You know, I might agree and say that Owens should stay, but it's just his own decision, and I think you've got to think WWE have to make a decision over time, so they're not going to make it at the moment, but they'll think about it, and I think he's pretty signed a contract, so I don't know. Well, what did I say I was going to talk about next? How about I get to another important story, two really, in fact, before I get to my predictions for the Elimination Chamber, and it is, of course, Ring of Honor is coming to Destination America, and also TNA Wrestling cancelled by Destination America, apparently, like some say, but we'll get to that right now, because it's reported last week that Destination America was going to cancel TNA Wrestling in September because they have an out clause in the 2-year contract. They say that story is that TNA is expected to doesn't produce ratings that are significant enough to justify costs, and advertisers don't want to promote on wrestling shows. So as we all know, TNA is part of Destination America, and at the moment, apparently, Destination America employees said this, that Destination America is not renewing TNA's wrestling contract next year. While the ratings were strong, the audience was not large enough to justify the program investment. We plan to honor the current contract and continue to air original episodes of TNA Wrestling on Friday nights through the end of the third quarter 2015. And of course we know that TNA is moving to Wednesdays, which I'll get to in a minute, but it says the opening line are not renewing the TNA. The part about Friday night is noteworthy because it was written prior to TNA's the move to Wednesdays, which starts next week on June 3rd. If the report wasn't true, this is why Destination America is so quiet about it. Then why? So is a talent meeting in TNA hard? Apparently they said that they aren't going to comment on things like that. And of course we heard that nothing much from TNA at the moment. I mean, seriously, like, TNA have kept very quiet about this. They've denied all reports of any problems with Destination America. You know, they've mixed around with lots of different TV programs, and they're doing it in a pretty dire position at the moment. The way they're going financially, just everything. It's just, I don't know what does that have to do with Dixie Carter or what, but it's something that, in my opinion, it needs to be completely addressed by TNA properly, They need to do a public addressing of this, and they need to also, if they haven't already, have another meeting with Destination America, which they're probably doing at the moment, and get to the bottom of all this, and make some agreement with them. And of course, this news only got hotter after our next bit of news that broke, and it is of course Ring of Honor is coming to Destination America the exact same day. Amid the widespread speculation that Destination America will be cancelling Impact Wrestling when their contract allows it for later this year, the network has announced a huge breaking news after this on May 27, 2015. This is the same day as NXT, and it was June 3rd that Ring of Honor is coming to Destination America, and this is around 8 o'clock, which is an hour leading into TNA. So TNA will be starting at 9, I think, for 2 hours, and that means that it's basically going to be leading into TNA. So what's going on there? What does this mean for the Impact's future isn't clear. The moving to Destination America is a major one for ROH, as a new time slot means more viewers on a channel that's already bringing in wrestling fans for that block, and of course ROH is picking up. Finding ROH on TV has been a struggle for many fans around the country, as they only air in certain regions, and generally in the late night hours over the weekend. I can agree to that. I know that I've seen TNA on TV before, but I've never seen ROH. It would appear that network is trying to double down on wrestling content on that Wednesday night, in hopes of getting more eyes on Impact Wrestling. Over the purchase, the Destination America has been in a buyer's remorse over the purchase of TNA content, as advertising rights for pro wrestling can be incredibly high, and the profit margin just isn't there to continue the short-term loan, as they're on Friday nights. This could be a sink or swim moment for everyone involved. June 3rd looks to be something of a relaunch as Destination America brand new midweek pro wrestling block. It also means live coverage on Wednesday nights is going to be a gigantic affair, as Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and WWE NXT now all occur within the same 3-hour period of time, which is crazy. 3 hours, and you've got 4 different shows, as they pre-mentioned there: NXT, Lucha Underground, TNA, Impact, and also ROH, all on the same night. It's too much, in my opinion. For Destination America even, I think that's too much. Of course, they have their big Saturday block where they do replays of Impact episodes and original content as well on that day. So I think that it's going to be less competitive, but on Wednesday it's going to be more competitive. And in terms of that, it's just going to be either someone's going to watch it all, some people are just going to tune in for bits of each show. It's not really going to exactly improve viewership for Impact, in my opinion. I don't know, but clearly people that are, in my opinion, are attracted to ROH already watch Impact, so I don't think it's going to make a huge impact. Don't mind me saying so, the pun there, but it won't make a bit of an improvement. I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like the best idea or the best way of going around it, the solution to that problem. Also, all the other shows are on. Sorry. And people are watching NXT. Are they really going to watch Impact? No, they probably won't, because it's on the same night, and they're I don't know. It's on the network, right? I think it's easier to find, because than going on to Destination America and having to watch that at the right time. But it seems to me very interesting, very weird decision, and I really don't have anything else to comment on this at the moment. I'll see how things develop, and we'll see how that goes. But really, at the moment, June 3rd, tune in and see how that's like, because it's going to be interesting. So comment below what your opinions are on that whole situation there. But now it's a big one. We're going in talking about WWE Elimination Chamber on the network 2015 predictions. I think all the matches are confirmed at the moment, so we're going to go in, talk about each one of these. So it will be between the likes of Money in the Bank, which is next month, I think, and don't get me wrong on that, I'll go check at the moment, and of course Payback, which we had last few weeks. So yeah, Money in the Bank is on next month, which is going to be really exciting. This month we're going to have this one. So our 5 or 6 matches confirmed are Sheamus versus Ryback versus R-Truth versus King Barrett versus Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler for the vacant WWE Intercontinental Championship in an Elimination Chamber. The New Day, the Tag Team Champions versus the Lucha Dragons, versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Primetime Players versus the Ascension versus Los Matadors in an Elimination Chamber match as well. Very exciting there for the Tag Team Championship. John Cena versus Kevin Owens in a singles match. Not for the United States Championship, by the way. I don't think. I'm not sure, actually. It might be. I don't know. It's not listed here at the moment, but if it is, I'll get to that. Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion versus Dean Ambrose. I didn't even know this match was on, so it's very interesting to me. Nikki Bella, the Divas Champion, versus Paige versus Naomi, and Neville versus Bo Dallas in a singles match, which will probably be on the pre-show. I don't know. Hint, hint. But yeah, this is a very stacked lineup in my opinion for such a just a network show in general. So it's really there to get more viewers onto the WWE Network. It makes sense, doesn't it? So yeah, this one is definitely a very for me, I haven't watched much of the main stuff that's gone on, but I am sort of up to date with what's going on a little bit. So let's go to our first match, and I'm going to talk about that one. Sheamus versus Ryback versus R-Truth versus King Barrett versus Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler for the vacant WWE Intercontinental Championship. And I think since I last commented, Daniel Bryan sort of talked about how he might be, hinting on retiring, which is very sad. So of course he retired that belt off himself, the Intercontinental Championship belt, and now we have lots of other people who are going for it. So this one is interesting because we look at King Barrett. He's probably got the most momentum going into this as the king, of course. So I think it just seems too obvious for him to win. Personally, I think that. Yeah, I'm going to risk it, but I'm going to say Sheamus is going to win this one. He is the heel, he is the dark horse in a way, but he's come back, and I think he does come back strong and win this championship. I really believe that. So, he's my first choice, Sheamus. My second choice is, I'm going to say, let's see this one. Dolph Ziggler. So, Dolph Ziggler or Sheamus. I don't think that King Barrett's going to win. Anyway, our second match is the New Day, the Tag Team Champions, versus the Lucha Underground. The Lucha? Why did I say Underground again? And the Dragons. Versus, I don't even watch that show, but anyway. Versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Primetime Players versus the Ascension versus Los Matadors. Personally, I haven't kept up to date with the tag team scene at the moment, and I really am not interested. I know the New Day are hot at the moment, so I think they're going to defend. That's my first choice. The New Day are going to defend. I'm just going to say that. They'll retain the championships in the Elimination Chamber. So, by the way, those two matches are actually Elimination Chamber matches, so that's going to be pretty extreme. And I think, especially the tag team one, it's like a lot of people in there. I don't know how that's going to work. Are they going to have everybody in an individual cell, like the two teams, and then they release them? I think that's how they're going to do it, but I'll be excited to see that one, actually. And I might get the network just for that. John Cena versus Kevin Owens, a very exciting match. This is not for any of the championships, I believe, because the whole story is that they're going on against each other to see who's better. So that's a fun. So apparently, I don't know. This one's difficult to say. I don't know whether Kevin Owens is going up to the main roster, but I'm going to go with my heart here and say John Cena is going to win this one. That's just what I believe personally, so let's see how that goes on. Yeah, it's not for any championships at the moment, so it's interesting because we have two champions. Obviously, Kevin Owens is the NXT champion and John Cena is the United States champion. So, yeah, there you go. What else? We're going to see the fourth match, which is Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Dean Ambrose. And I think Seth Rollins is going to win this one, definitely, because I don't know, he's just going to keep the championship all the way up to Money in the Bank. That's what I believe. Or SummerSlam, sorry, even. So, yeah, he's going to win. I'm going with the heart there and say that. I'm putting it on the line and say that. So, it'll be a very big upset victory if Dean Ambrose won, but a very happy victory because, of course, he's the face. So, I love that. But, of course, I think Seth Rollins is going to defend. I know Dean Ambrose has had steam going into this, but I don't know, not enough for me to say that not enough confidence to say he's going to win. So yeah, that's it. That's my prediction there. What else? I really don't care about the next one. I'm just going to say, okay, it's for the Divas Championship. My heart would say Nikki Bella, but I'm really going to go with, I'm going to go out in the line and say, I'm going to say Naomi is going to win this one. So Naomi, my second pick is probably Nikki Bella defending the title. Okay, and sixth and final match of the night that I have to talk about, it's Neville versus Bo Dallas. Didn't even know this match was on the card. It's probably just a pre-show. But Neville, of course Neville's going to win. Anyway, he's going to fly, he's going to kill Bo Dallas. It's all going to be over. I don't know how much of a feud that is at the moment, but I think Neville's going to win that one, hopefully, and it'll get me really excited for the rest of the pay-per-view. So, that is my predictions, and that is my review of NXT for this week, and of course, my look at Destination America, TNA, and ROH, and all of that's going into that at the moment. It's very crazy at the moment in wrestling, and we have a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Everything is going to get more packed, and I'm really going to stick with my NXT reviews, and I'm not going to talk about anything else except for this and the main roster stuff. So don't worry about me going back on more Impact stuff. I will alert you on this Wreste-Talk if there's more information regarding that. So I'll keep in touch with that. But that will be talked about on Wreste-Talk, nowhere else. So thank you guys so much. Make sure to like, comment below, give your opinions on everything I talk about in this story, in this episode, as well as subscribing to the big red button below, and see you all next time. Bye.